Welcome back to Film Study Podcast with Lexi. Here's me, Carmen, and Kaya talking part 2 of 613, Spencer and the Draft. Getting to Mr. Spencer James.
Ooh.
So,
Okay, go down.
we find out that Spencer dropped out of the first round because the tape of him saying that the draft evaluations were basically like, comparing it was, I don't know if he actually said this is what happened in real life with Colin Kaepernick, but just like comparing it to like slave holders and slave trades, and basically just saying that the draft evaluations were not a modern process, and that it was all about sort of the physical prowess of, you know, all of these players, and that they just really dig into their past, and it's sort of an unfair evaluation, right? They check everything but our teeth. And his agent Eric had known that this tape had leaked, at least to, I don't think it leaked publicly, but it had leaked to the league, in terms of like maybe the league sent it out to the teams, and so the teams were just like, we don't like that this person is being so outspoken, because how is he gonna, if he's saying this about us in general, like how is he gonna act when he's on our team?
Didn't they do a knee or something in high school? Like they
Yeah, in
did the
high
actual.
school when he set off
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
yeah. So it was all connected back, and he was just like, this man is a little too, it was giving it was giving, this man is a little too uppity for me, we don't want to draft him. Which is very Colin Kaepernick like. But what I really want to spend some time on is the fact that Liv, first of all, tells Spencer that the bad days never last, but the truth does. There were some really good lines, and Grayson Liv reminding him that that he has his academics to fall back on, regardless of what happens with the NFL, and he's freaking out. But Liv leading them in the Serenity Prayer,
Listen,
I
I was
think
like,
was
I know that's
just,
right. Cover your man, girl. Cover
it
your
was
man.
such it was such an excellent touch, and this is
It
what to
was.
me felt like this is what the series is about, and like this was a strong way to end. Again, at the time they thought they were ending, like, but this is a strong way to end the series, is like Liv leading them through the Serenity, like just the symbolism for that for her own self. Let alone
Yeah.
her giving this to Spencer, and his, this is what he's been working for since the pilot, and what he's been working for his whole life. And so for her to lead him through that and say, like, this is what got me through tough times for myself, was, and with Grace too, right? Like with Grace as well, and
I was about to say, with his mama.
representing the whole new family unit. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing to me. It was like, besides the proposal, that was probably one of my favorite parts. I mean, listen, y'all know I love me some God. So
That part. That's
so
what. Listen.
so this one was a real, like, I really love that for them. What did y'all think about it?
I feel like this episode did a really good job of showing how far, this whole season, but this episode showing how far Spelivia has come, just in their relationship, with like his mom being there too, in this very like emotional moment with them. I was eating it up. I'm just like, look at Mama Grace sitting here with her future daughter-in-law, just like praying at this table with her son, who's going through like a really hard time right now. This is his dream that he's been aiming for this entire series, pretty much. And as much as like he's been there for her with her book and everything coming out, at the same time she's been there at the same level for him, and just helping him through everything that he's going through. And even when, like, what was it, her book signing, like that not even turned out the way she wanted it to turn out. So even when she has like these setbacks, to see them still just like making sure the other is good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
What about you, Carmen?
I agree, Kaya. I feel like they finally gave us this Bolivia that we wanted this whole time. Like, where you see them show up for each other. Like, we finally got that Spelivia. Like, I don't know what they was doing in season 4, but we finally got And I get, they want to just take him through some stuff, but dang, it was just like, dang, I just wish we would have seen more of this Bolivia, for a longer period of time than what we got
Mm-hmm.
now. But I
Mm-hmm.
take it. I take it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the trials and tribulations before.
Same.
I feel like it was needed.
Yeah.
Nah, not all of them.
No.
No.
But I'll say this in it.
Season 4, season 5, I was like,
Yeah, season 5
even
was
That was what it was.
that
Season
was
3,
juicy.
it was
But
the
season
crash in
5
the car.
Spelivia.
The crash in the car, I could live without. Just
but here's the thing: the crashing the car, and I think that's why this scene was so special to me, and why I said like not just for him but for her, is because she has gone on her own journey, and so to see, and I remember not being too pleased with Grace when she like went off on Spencer about the crash in the car scenario, and just acknowledging that like clearly she wasn't herself, and obviously it was a dangerous situation, but I just didn't appreciate how Grace handled that. But to see them sitting at a table, and this thing which is her sobriety being a thing that anchors them all in this moment, I thought was incredibly special. I like want to tear up thinking about it, because also what mattered to me in speaking about how Spelivia has interacted in this season is the fact that not only did this happen, and not only did Spencer take that, and it wasn't just the fact that she did that for him and they experienced that moment together with Grace, but it was also the fact that he came back to her the next day and told her, thank you for yesterday. And it's like those simple interactions that I love that they're having now.
Yeah, like her, him thanking her for flying out.
Right. And it's like the I don't know, the simple thank yous and acknowledgments from Spencer, and I just feel like we didn't always get that, and so for us to be getting it consistently this time around as they've grown in their relationship, and really, and for me it's also just like the way in which it's happening, right? Like it's an act, like it's just such a peaceful, calm thank you. It's really, really special to see, and it was really, really special to see in this episode. So I appreciated that. I think throughout the day, different people were checking in on Spencer, and like just making sure that he's good. But also, I think what shouldn't be underrated is people checking in on him and saying like he's really taking this well. And I think just people being super proud about how he's been dealing with this very difficult point in his life. And so that was amazing to see. Carter checked in on him. Obviously, Jordan checked in on him. Grace checked in on him. Dylan checked in on him. Asher checked in on him. Like, there were so many repeated people. We didn't get
Layla was worried about him.
Yeah, I was like, we didn't get Layla and Spencer talking or having a conversation in this episode, but like Layla checked in on him. So it was really good to see his village as its entirety come around him and really be in his corner through that entire day, even though there was like other things going on, which is also take this time to point out that folks were saying, and I saw this by a couple of different people, and I just transparently I disagreed with this take, is that people were saying like they felt like Spencer has taken a back seat, and that he's not the main character, and that he's maybe
never.
And I was just like, I feel like they always bring it back around to Spencer, and they're always going to make sure that he is the main focus. And I think that was true.
Nobody has support like Spencer.
Very true like in this episode. But I also think like in this episode where it was like where it should have been the case, right, that nobody got support like Spencer based upon what happened, that it was that everybody was there for him and everybody was worried about him. And I thought it was really
said that because like to say that I don't agree that he always the main focus. He always the main. It always going to turn to Spencer somehow. So I don't know what we're watching different shows or something, but I get it. That's your opinion.
You had to do the dip. I was just bringing up the point respectfully. Carmen was like, "Nah, I'm gonna say how I feel."
Everybody know I love Spencer, but not once have I ever watched All American and felt like he's losing his main character spot. I've never watched the show and felt that
I
way.
mean, and it's no shade to anyone.
No shade.
Truly no shade. But everybody has their different opinions. But I think, like you're saying, and like I said, I'm not seeing that he was becoming a side character, that he was focused on any less. I think especially these past, I'd say episode 100 on down to where we are now, especially this season, is that it's been very like, we know that this is Spencer's show, and that this is Spencer's story.
I think a lot of times people forget the main characters take more hits than anybody.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly that. He's gonna go through challenges. Right. And I think there is valid criticism for this last challenge, and I still do think that he should have been drafted first round. And I don't think even the reason that we got up top wasn't, I don't think
it still didn't make
wasn't sufficient. It wasn't sufficient enough.
For it to be like they passed on pretty much the number one because of that. Like, I wasn't believing that either. No.
Exactly. Yeah. Top 5 pick not going in the first round at all is crazy. But with that being said, appreciated again that everybody was rallying around him and checking on him. And this was, by the way, throughout, because it was like people were concerned that this was like Jordan and Layla's wedding, and how is he, the draft is taking a back seat. And it was like throughout Jordan and Layla's wedding, we sure got people, and again, as it should, but we got people checking in on Spencer throughout this wedding. And I think when obviously Asher checks in on Spencer, and it's funny because first of all, we got this, I'll say this before I get to Asher, back to Asher. The fact that Dylan and Spencer have a conversation that was talking about what should we do with this house, that felt very final. That felt so final. They were like, we can't sell the house, and it was also Grace talking about when I'm in Oakland, I don't understand why they keep emphasizing Oakland like they do. Like, they can never say it just plain Oakland. Listen, like, they have to emphasize, like, yes, we're acknowledging that Oakland is still a thing.
Listen, I was just happy that she was going back with her man, because I was like, this lady here is married and she's not even with her husband for real. Like, I'm just happy she's going back with her man. We never see him. Never.
It was also interesting because it seems like she's still flying back and forth, whereas I would have just assumed that she was living in Oakland more full time.
Yes, that's what she needs to do. Go on her snacks. Get all your snacks and go with your man.
She's going on now that he's drafted, but she had to wait until Spencer was fully okay to leave the nest herself.
He been okay, but I get it, mama, I get it.
Mama Grace. Yes. But they also talk about Crenshaw being their home, which I think was a nice nod to their story. But again, Asher checks in on Spencer, and he's saying that he hopes to get invited to training camp. This is a point where I wish, as a football fan, even though the football on the show is always very interesting, but as a football fan, I think that they should have clarified, and I wish they would have clarified, and this is something that I would have changed slightly, is the fact that in the beginning they made it seem like there was essentially only one round of drafting, which doesn't make sense. There's 3 days of drafting. And so it made it, Spencer was basically talking, and not even just Spencer, people around Spencer, his agent included, talking like, this is the end. Like, it's not going to happen for you. His agent didn't mention anything about like, oh, we'll see how day 2 or 3 goes. It was like, this was your last shot. And then Spencer is like talking about, oh, I can't go back to college, which is why I also thought like, is the draft over? Is this some sort of special small draft? And then he's talking to Asher about, oh, maybe somebody.
A small draft.
I was confused because then Spencer's talking about maybe somebody
I know how much of a football fan Lexi is, so yeah,
will invite me to training camp. But I'm saying like when they're talking about it like this, and then Spencer's talking about being invited to training camp, it's like, why is there no hope for you being a day 2 or 3 pick? Like, that just didn't make sense for me, because my thought process was always like, oh, if he's not.
I had no idea it was more than one day, so I was not. See, that's you gotta be a football fan. You gotta be a football fan.
But I was, and so I was always, so at the top of this episode, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be a day 2 pick. And then he was just like, yeah, I don't know, it's not gonna happen. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, so is the draft over? He didn't get because there's 7 rounds in the draft, and so I'm like, you're not getting drafted at all. 2 through 7, there's 7 rounds of the draft. This is crazy. And like over 200 picks. So, with that being said, he talks to Asher, is like, I hope I get invited to training camp. And it's pretty telling that Asher is the one that he says this to, because in the middle of Asher's best man speech, Spencer's phone goes off, then everybody's phone goes off at the same time, and I'm like, I need to understand.
Listen,
was this like a news alert that Spencer had been picked, or was this like people were also calling Asher? We also know that Coach Montez has Asher's number.
Called Asher. That made sense.
I do think that Montez definitely called Asher, but it's like, where was all of these? Like, they called Grace, but then it was like, how are they getting everybody's numbers?
Everyone's phone number.
Everybody's phone went off, so I was kind of confused. I assumed that it was like a collection of, they were trying to get a hold of Spencer, but they also were, first of all, they could have used multiple people to call to make sure that he picked up the phone. And also it could have been like a news alert that he was drafted, because it was still his day 2 of the draft. And I think this was such an interesting choice to have Asher be the one to say, Spencer, you got to pick up that call. Like, again, he does have a relationship with Montez, but it's like, Asher was the person to give the go ahead to Spencer, which I think was such an interesting choice to say, like, your dream's about to come true, man. And as he's doing it, and as he picks up the call, which, by the way, there were funny facial expressions the whole entire way through. Laura saying,
Layla was
like,
tight.
well, yeah, before she knew what it was, she was tight, yeah. And then Laura was tight too. She was just like, just forget, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Having a conniption over there. But when they both found out what it was, everybody was like instantly thrilled for him. And people have been mentioning this, but Daniel reacting and acting in that phone call was amazing. Just him, it was a very short phone call, but it is like, this is what real players go through, and they're just like the wave of emotions that hits you, as he was talking to Coach Montez. And like, as it felt like everybody was waiting on bated breath, and he was just like, yeah, no, like, I'm excited, gear up for you. And as people were waiting on bated breath, and he gets off the phone, and he's just like, that was Coach Montez. Like, he just called. I got drafted. No.
He.
Girl.
Trying to correct me, and they even got the facts.
Listen, my mind with the real life. I'm so sorry. Remember he passed? I'm like, what do you mean?
Right,
yeah, I'm sorry. My mind went to real life.
You're good. And so, yeah, he's just like, that was Coach Montez. I just got off the phone with him. He drafted me to the New York Bobcats. And it was just like, I'm so happy for him, because it's like, this is something that he's been working towards since the pilot. And it really hit me, I think, in a deep way after I'd watched that scene a couple of times, how special it was. Like, honestly, I didn't care, after I'd watched a couple of times. Like, I didn't care that Asher's speech had been interrupted, or that the wedding had been interrupted, or whatever, because seeing Spencer surrounded by the people that love him, as he's getting this call,
that was the only reason I didn't mind that it happened on the wedding, because he had opportunity of everybody being there at the same time. It was like, okay, I'm gonna give a pass just because of that.
Well, and I feel like for me specifically, like, it wasn't even a pass, because it was just like,
it was a pass. I would be the same way. It was Spelivia wedding. The wedding, like, no, let this be about them. He got that phone call on the way out the door when it was over. But I'm giving a pass. I gave a pass.
That is Carmen, not me. and I'm saying that
Not me.
If Spelivia have a wedding and they did that to Spelivia wedding, I'd be mad too. So don't do that.
That's fine. I'm just speaking from my perspective. It's my opinion. I'm kidding.
Go ahead.
No, but so it was really special to see, and why it was special not just to have everybody there for the moment, but it was also because everybody there had been so concerned for him the whole entire day and had been so disappointed for him the whole entire day, and just like in awe of how he was taking it in stride. And so for them to all be there after all of that, like after we already saw all of this support for him, and for when he finally got that call, it was so special. And then we got the mom's hug. We got the, like, this was enough. Like, I didn't even catch this until a couple of watches in, but we got like Layla being like super happy for him, and Olivia and her hugging Olivia. The mom's hug was special to me, like both Laura and Grace hugging him. And obviously we got like the Spelivia forehead touch, and like Asher being excited and Jordan being excited, and obviously like Patience, right, being excited, and Coop. And so it was just great to see everybody rally around him the second that he got that news.
Yeah.
But what did y'all think about that moment?
Well, we know what Carmen thought.
No, I'm like, dang, like this is a really special, and this is also like the moment that, you know, this is the moment that we watched the show for.
Listen, I love the moment. I just want to put the moment somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. Like, I didn't say delete the moment. I'm saying if somebody wedding.
She said move it.
She said pick it up and move it.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with Layla. Like, in the moment, I was looking like, yo, why is everyone, not even one person, why is everyone's phone on?
Oh, that's the thing. Like, ringer all loud, vibrations all loud.
Yes. Like, did you all have it off during the ceremony? You all just happened to
turn it on? Yeah.
No. You all just had your phones on this whole time. So like, while it was happening,
I felt Layla come through in that, like, that was not Kaya speaking. That was Layla saying, like, no, you all just had your phones on this entire time.
Yeah. On my day.
On my day.
That's what I'm
saying. She was just like, now I was cool and calm and collected the rest of the day, but nah.
Right? Like,
don't try my patience. She said, I done endured these jokes. She said, I done endured these jokes. I done endured all these people interrupt. I will not.
And then it started happening during the speech. The speech never got finished. We never heard the speech.
And, okay, so the speech didn't get finished. And Kai, I'm going to come back to you on your thoughts on the moment. But the speech didn't get finished. But I'll say this: when you go back and watch it, the speech had ended at a good time for the interruption to happen. Like, that was right after he said, like, Jordan and Layla, you are each other's purpose.
No.
I'm just go back and look. Just go back and watch.
It was never. The phone should never ring. There's no perfect time.
Sure, no. But again, I think it happened in the moment that I think was a good moment to interrupt.
Yeah, as a writer, you think as a writer? No.
Okay, no. But what were you saying, Kaya?
What was I saying? Oh, so their phones are ringing. Like, so I was just annoyed by that because you don't know why the phones are ringing in that moment. Asher's speech getting interrupted, I didn't care about that because, like we were saying before, my guy, you're like, oh yeah, you guys are always meant to be together, blah blah blah. So if you knew that, why did you date her then? Get out of here. So I didn't mind I didn't mind his speech getting interrupted either, although it did kind of take me away from Jordela because they're sitting here at this table. At least when someone's making a speech about them, it's on the person doing the speech and it's flashing at Jordela, but then phones are ringing again, it goes back to Spencer. But knowing now what the actual phone call was about, I was like, all right, if anything is going to interrupt this reception and this speech right here, I'll have it be that. Like, if it was anything else, I probably would have been like, nah, that's mad disrespectful. But it's, like you said, it's this thing that he's been waiting for, like, since we met this guy, you know, from the very beginning. So to have his moment, and also Spencer's the type where he wants his family around for, like, these big things. He wants the support. He's used to having the support and the love and stuff. So I feel like it suited really well to have everyone present for that phone call to come in the way it did. And also, I was like, all right, we know the wedding didn't just end with him getting that phone call and everybody went home. They still partied afterwards. We didn't get to see it, but we know they still partied afterwards.
Yeah.
And Jordala got to enjoy the rest of their reception. So I loved it. He got his moment. He's going to the NFL.
And he got his moment with like all of his his friends and family around, which I think
So we're just gonna make up. We're gonna
really
just make up
special.
scenes. Okay.
We're not.
Oh
making
my
around,
goodness!
okay?
We're just making up scenes. The end.
All right, Carmen. Don't put your hater self into a corner right now. We're happy.
I don't understand how it's hate. It's not hate. I'm happy for him in the moment.
He said,
but it could have happened in the parking lot. Okay.
In the parking lot?
Everybody could have been going towards their cars. Phone rang. Everybody stopped. Ooh,
Carmen saying that this moment should have happened in a parking lot is crazy.
Bruh, you're a wild card.
Yeah, that's OD.
In a parking lot?
Listen, it could have happened at the house with everybody there. Anywhere but the wedding.
Why would everybody be at the house? Nobody, no.
What?
Jordan and Layla are going off to their honeymoon.
They could have had
at least
not
going
after,
away for the night.
I'm saying before the wedding. It could have happened before the wedding.
But I mean, we all agreed that he should have been drafted first round. But I'm saying if this was the route that they took and that he wasn't drafted first round, and I think that this was, and if it was going to interrupt the wedding, I think that they found a really good way to do it. Like, I just don't. I think I think that they handled the wedding interruption that was bound to happen. I think that they handled it. They handled it fine. So there you have it. Carmen was not for the wedding interruption. But with that being said, I really loved everybody getting up and hugging, and congratulations, Spencer. And by the way, not just Spencer, but people were hugging Grace, people were hugging Liv. Like I said, I got my little Olivia moment, so I was thrilled. She hugged her sister officially. And then we flash forward. We take a little 10-month time jump. A little 10-month time jump is great.
This took it for me.
And so we jump ahead 10 months. And when this announcer said, we're at the Super Bowl, I'm like, Super Bowl? Again, as an NFL fan, I was just like, you know what? I accept it because this is the final episode, is what I was saying in my head. Because getting to the Super Bowl, your rookie season is like, whoo, with a coach that just got fired, that means the team wasn't good because, Montez got this opportunity to coach. Anyway, all of that stuff. So just know that this is like, essentially Spencer would have to be the best player ever, which in the show he is. But they're in the Super Bowl and Spencer makes the game-winning walk-off TD, which for people that don't know, it means that, essentially that there's no time left and that like this touchdown is ending the game because the game is ending and I think they had like 10 seconds left and he scored it with 4 seconds left on the board. And so it's like there is no, like the other team won't get the ball back. It's just.
Yep, they got a football fan. Go ahead, explain it to us.
But yeah. So it basically means that because the other team is not getting the ball, they just get to walk off and be champions. So number one, it also says that this is the first championship in that franchise's history, which is crazy. Again, best player ever is Spencer James
They weren't winners until him.
Within the realm of this show. And he also is Super Bowl MVP, which is also, he's the best player ever. Let me just keep saying that. Spencer James is the best player ever. Super Bowl MVP, winning walk-off TD, had a crazy storied rookie season, brings the first championship in franchise history. Liv's celebration as Spencer got that touchdown was amazing.
I told you, this girl be giving the best reactions on the sidelines.
The best reactions. And then, did you notice that there was another Olivia hug? I'm like, listen, I didn't get a true Olivia moment, but I'm getting all these Olivia hugs. I'll take it.
Yes. They the little cheerleaders on the side.
They were the cheerleaders on the side, and obviously Grace was excited, and Laura was there, and she was excited, and Jordan was hyped with decked out in all New York Bobcat gear. the hat, the shirt.
He was
so
representing.
good.
He was representing.
He a fan. Anyway.
So stupid.
So it was really special, and we see Spencer giving his MVP speech, and he's thanking Coach Montez, which again, I think that number one, I'll continue to say it, one of my favorite things this season has been them honoring Camar de los Reyes in this way, and really like just immortalizing this character in Coach Montez, where he's still there for the people in the show, even though the actor is, no longer with us. And I just think that that's so special to me, and I think it's like a testament to just the atmosphere and the environment of that set. Now I'm getting sad because I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like the crew is still gonna be there, but Daniel's leaving, obviously. And so he thanks Coach Montez, and then he shouts out, "Live, best-selling author."
As he should.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Live, best-selling author. Also, his entire Cali family. Come on. His entire Cali family, and does a special shout out to Grace, his my mom's, and then he ends up on Crenshaw Strong, as he should with all of these, and they're just beaming, like they're cheesing away.
Yo,
Kaya's words.
They were so happy over there.
They were so thrilled for him, and it was so good to see. It was so amazing to see. And then we get this special moment where it's a flashback to the pilot.
Stop, girl! Oh my gosh! The start of the best scene ever.
Yeah. The start of the best scene ever. You said it perfectly, because
this episode was stressing me out until this.
But it was, when Liv is looking for Spencer in that very first episode after he scored the game winner, I think, in the first episode.
I was not okay with that scene, but I'm gonna let them have it.
Wait, what?
Carmen,
the flashback. That
Carmen.
Listen, out of all the flashback, we choose the flashback where she's standing there happy, and then Layla jumps in front of him. That's the one we choose.
But Carmen, did they show the part where Layla jumps in front of him?
We don't have to see it. We know it. We know what happened.
Carmen, you are
but I
such
think that
a
it
hater.
was a.
How was that? I don't understand how I'm being called a hater, because I feel
you
like
are being a hater.
First of all,
I'll tell you.
Wait, first of all, out of three of us, I'm the biggest Spelivia fan on this podcast. Out of the three of us,
excuse me.
That's one. Yes,
not today. Not today. What have you done for me lately, Carmen?
Listen,
you are the biggest Spencer fan, Carmen.
Thank you. Speak it. Listen, you're the biggest Spencer fan.
Listen, Spelivia.
No. And this is why, because I'm going to cut you off talking all this mess about how it wasn't a good scene. And I'm going to explain it this way. First of all, teen drama history is, this scene instantly made me think of One Tree Hill and the prize moment of One Tree Hill, where... Huh?
That's your show. Go ahead. You always.
I mean, it's like it's a very popular, very looked at teen drama.
Mm-hmm.
But when Lucas sees Peyton in the championship, and it flashes back to the pilot for them as well, and this is what it symbolizes both in One Tree Hill and in All American, is that the point of me being like, it's the journey.
Stop! Don't do that. Don't ruin this moment.
I'm sorry. I had to. Now I'm gonna be serious after I said that. But that in the pilot, these characters did not have it figured out. I was waiting for a well from Kaya, and it didn't come. I was hoping that, just like Grace was on her preacher-ish today in this episode, when she was like doing I'm really not gonna get any backup today. Okay, that's fine.
Wait, why am I gonna say well to you? You're on track.
As we know, it they had a very long, windy journey to get to this point. But now they're finally at this point. So it's saying like they didn't start at this place. Huh? They didn't start at this place.
Listen, I get
All
that.
this
But
to
they
say,
gon'
Carmen,
end.
Yes, I get
They
that
gon'
part.
end.
it was always meant to be the two of
Absolutely.
them. And that's also why it shows the first time around you have Liv, the one that's looking across the field at him, and his head is down. And now it's reversed where he's the one that's looking across the field as her, because they went on this journey, as Lexi said, but now they found each other. They have each other. And he wants to spend eternity with the love of his life. And now he's the one that's gonna approach her as her head is down, completely unexpected right now. And he about to come propose to her.
They're correcting the mistakes of the past. There ain't gonna be no more mistakes.
None. Because they're locked.
So that's why that scene was so special. Or that flashback, I should say. And then getting into the scene of the episode, Liv acknowledging Spencer as he walked up and her saying like breaking down film on video chat really paid off, which was just like, oh, y'all been chatting, y'all been living on the opposite coast. I ain't know that. And he says to her, by the way, as everybody is looking, everybody saw, everybody knew what the plan was. Everybody was in agreement on one accord. Everybody was on one accord.
We're gonna stand back. Give me y'all moment.
Can I get an amen? Everybody was on one accord. And they're looking and watching Spencer do this. And it says, like, how would you like to do that in person every day? And she's like, what? Do you want me to move to New York? And he says this to her. He's just like, Liv, my rookie season was a movie. And the only thing that was missing was you. And he's like walking her to the 22-yard line.
Yes.
And he says,
so perfect.
I already asked your mom for her blessing. And since your dad isn't here, this was a way to get his blessing, was taking you to the 22. I know that's right. And you see again, it keeps flashing back to the Callie family on the sideline. And they're everybody cheesing away this episode. But they're cheering on the sideline, and he proposes and is just like, Olivia Baker, will you marry me? Wow, we waited for this, guys. We waited for this.
Okay, so I will retract. After the breakdown of the why they chose that scene, I get it now. I didn't get it before, but I get it now after the breakdown. So okay, I'm okay with the scene. I didn't want the scene because I was like, why would they choose that scene? And that's when he didn't see her. But after Kaya breakdown of the head down, she see her. Okay, I get it now. I get it.
I didn't help in any way, shape, or form. She said after Kaya's breakdown specifically. Dang.
Yeah, it was Kaya breakdown specifically. It was. Now I'm not taking back the other one, but I take back that one.
Oh my god.
I still don't appreciate the wedding interrupting. I would feel the same way. I would feel
Me neither.
Wow.
I would feel the same way.
Y'all don't even understand. Kaya, my mouth is dropped right now. She was just like, I don't care what the hell you had to say.
It was after she, after she broke down her head was down, and it was like, okay, now you can see, okay, now I got it. Now, the wedding, no, I still stand on that. And they go both ways. Even if it was Spelivia wedding and they did that with Jordan, I still wouldn't have liked it. So, it wasn't about, it was Spencer. It was just the fact that I didn't like the interruption of the wedding.
We've known that they're soulmates, like they are supposed to be together. So what was it like to see this moment finally happen for them? And to see how excited Liv was about it, right? Like, let me think about it. Yes.
Oh my gosh, the first part of that thing that took me out was her crying. Oh, Sam, she ate that whole scene. Her putting her hands up to her face, and she's like, the choke cry, because we know this girl has wanted this from the second she saw this man up in the classroom.
Wanted it.
She has truly wanted, before he laid eyes on her, she has truly wanted this man because she laid eyes first. And it's been a fight for her this whole time.
Girl,
so, like, her crying in that moment, I felt it. Like, it was just a cry of relief that, like, I finally get my man for forever. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point she knows she
That's
has
her
him.
man.
But for him to actually propose to her
Yeah.
and know that they're about to be husband and wife officially. And someone had asked me like a couple days ago, if I thought they were gonna get engaged in this episode here, or like when I would want them to get engaged. I was like, oh, I would think it's right if they did a time jump, because I feel like it would have been too soon beforehand. Or if they actually did choose to do it beforehand, maybe like he get drafted and then the same day he like chooses to propose to her. But the fact that they waited 10 months, and I feel like 10 months was the perfect amount of time given that he had just been drafted at the wedding. And like you said, it was only 24 hours since she did the book reading with the kids. And then within that 24 hours, like, she had all this success come to her. So to know that over these 10 months now, they've been living in that success of their careers, because yeah, they've loved each other this entire time, but at the same time, like, their careers have been a big part of who they are individually. And it's been a big part of them pushing each other to reach those dreams, to reach those goals. And I feel like it was a struggle, like we said in season 4 for them, of balancing their relationship and then still trying to achieve those goals, and how to support each other along those lines. So to see them just grow from that point on, and how well they showed us them growing within this last season, the way he proposed to her was just so good. Like, I feel like it brought everything to this point where it was the perfect place to propose. Him proposing on the football field to her, having all their family and friends around, because I feel like for their engagement, I would have expected like their family and friends to be present for it, because that's something I feel like it's something Liv would have wanted, but I feel like it's something Spencer would have really wanted, is for especially his mom to be present in that moment, given all the sacrifices that she's done for him throughout his life. So to now see them have like their happy ever after together, and to incorporate her dad in that way, oh my gosh! On the 22, oh my god!
On the 22 was perfect, and
that was so thought out.
It was. I don't know. I feel like, and you mentioned it, but we can't, like, we gotta take a moment of pause to really talk about the fact about how special it was that everybody was there to witness it, and everybody knew it was coming. So it was just so special to me, because we know that Spencer like planned this, right? Like, we know that he actually spent the time to plan this, because everybody was looking like, okay, it's happening. Okay, he's grabbing her. He's going off tour. And so it was like, I don't know. It was just so great for this couple. And again, I'm going to use Carrie's words when she was on my podcast, but she called like Spencer and Olivia the hero couple. And so for them finally to get to this point and overcome all of what they've had, and have this season especially be a culmination in something, and I'm going to use Sam's words, something really beautiful, was amazing, because they've always had a connection. There's always been a connection between the two of them. There's always been a chemistry between the two of them, but now we've been able to see them grow as like just in their partnership together, and with their careers. And so yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And then it was like a really great touch as well to have like Spencer has finally achieved his NFL dream at the same time that Liv is like getting her career as well and her dreams. And that was such a point for them to like need to learn how to navigate. And the fact that like Liv's a best-selling author, she got a TV deal coming through the pike, and Spencer's Super Bowl MVP. Like, it was, they earned this moment.
Of course, I love the moment. I've been waiting on Spelivia happy ever after since episode 1. So I loved it. I loved the proposal. I loved like how they set it up, the words that went with it. I loved all of it.
And that's our thoughts. What I'll ask this before we go. What would your thought have been if this is where the series had ended?
Listen, I thought this was the last one until I found out tonight through you when you was talking.
So you came in with like, I forget what your original grading. What did you grade it?
A.
An A.
Yeah.
So you A for yeah, it's about like an A for a season wrap up for me.
Yeah, I thought this was the last episode. It felt like the last episode. Yeah.
It did feel like a last episode. I thought they were gonna do some pickup shots and change a little bit of things, but nope. We got their bachelorette party and engagement party next week, and we don't know that yet. Everything that's happening in that episode.
We have who? Spencer. Oh,
Spelivia, yeah.
Yeah, he drank no more after his birthday. Nope, he drank no more. No more liquor.
Well, Liv can't drink, so.
Nah, he was funny. We don't need. He can drink again.
He didn't much remember what his gift was.
Dude, my man's funny.
Listen, that man spent a whole episode looking for a gift that was a part.
But what is exciting is that it's a callback to Vegas. They're really they're pulling out all of the stops.
Yes,
they're theming it Vegas.
So good.
Okay.
And we'll see what these last 2 episodes of the show bring us. Those are our thoughts. Thanks for listening.